Now, what kind of support can Hong Kong BNO visa holders access? Well, there is still a number of other benefits and housing support that you might actually be able to access despite having the NRPF condition.
咁雖然咧，香港 BNO Visa 嘅持有人咧，護照上都會有呢個 NRPF 嘅一個情形發生，咁但係其實咧會仲有其他一啲嘅福利啦，或者啲幫助啦，就算你係有 NRPF 呢個條款咧，你都可以申請到嘅。
So Hong Kong BNOs with the NRPF condition, they can still access some benefits, and so these are mainly non-means tested benefits, and these are benefits where you've paid a contribution through national insurances, for example, towards that.
一般嚟講啦，香港 BNO Visa 嘅持有人咧，佢哋可以申請到嘅福利咧，係一啲非入息審查類嘅一啲幫助。亦都為之我哋其實係有供款嘅，例如我哋喺國民保險喺 NI 嘅方面，我哋有供款嘅，咁會有一啲非入息審查嘅福利咧，其實都係可以申請得到嘅。
So whether or not you're able to get a particular benefit will depend on whether you're paid or been credited with enough national insurance contributions, and that will impact how much as well potentially that you'd be able to access.
咁你可以攞到幾多嘅福利咧？其實好大情形咧，視乎於你有冇俾足夠嘅供款啦，即係 NI 入邊嘅供款啦，或者你會唔會有累積到足夠嘅credit 啦嘅一啲點數啦？如果你有足夠嘅，咁亦都會視乎翻個金額，你可能會得到相應金額嘅福利嘅。
And in terms of housing, local authorities still have duties to provide advice and support to prevent homelessness in their areas. And although I mentioned earlier on that someone with the NRPF condition can't access some housing and homelessness assistance, as I said, local authorities still have to provide some support to prevent homelessness.
咁雖然我哋啱啱講過啦，一般社區房屋啦，或者一啲房屋上面嘅幫助咧 ，NRPF 嘅人可能申請唔到嘅，但係本地嘅市政府咧，佢依然有一個責任咧，去確保同埋盡量去避免無家可歸嘅情形會發生嘅。
So this could look like things like advice or the provision of bonds or deposits, for example, to access accommodation in some circumstances.
舉個例子，佢哋可能會提供一啲意見啦、啲諮詢啦，或者可能會用債券嘅形式，或者一啲按金嘅形式，去幫助大家可以租到屋或者獲取到你哋需要嘅住所嘅。
And the reason why I mention this is because that although we're telling you that with the NRPF condition, you cannot access housing or homelessness assistance from the local authority, someone is experiencing or is at risk of homelessness, it's really important that they still try and access support, advice and support from the local authority, because they still have some duties to provide help in that area.
咁點解我哋會提到呢樣嘢咧？其實最主要就係雖然 NRPF 嘅人可能申請唔到公共房屋啦，咁但係如果你哋去到一個情形係自己將會面臨無家可歸嘅話咧，咁我哋都依然建議你哋會嘗試去聯絡你哋嘅市政府，因為其實佢哋有一個責任咧，去盡量避免呢啲事情發生嘅，咁亦都可能獲得一啲相應嘅幫助。
So, for example, the local authority will not be able to provide you with emergency accommodation. But they might be able to help you access other accommodation and explore other options.
咁舉個例子啦，例如佢哋安排唔到俾你哋一啲緊急嘅房屋安排，但係可能佢哋會俾到一啲指引或者一啲渠道，你哋可以申請到嘅一啲房屋啦，或者其他情形嘅。
Okay, so we mentioned that Hong Kong BNOs can still access some means-tested benefits despite the NRPF condition.
咁我哋啱啱有講到啦，就算有 NRPF 一個條款嘅人嘅香港 BNO Visa 持有人咧，依然可以申請一啲非入息審查嘅一啲福利嘅，咁包括以下。
So on this slide, I've got a list of some very well-known benefits that you could still access. So there's things like maternity allowance or statutory sick pay. So these are things that you could still access despite having the NRPF condition.
咁有一啲好普遍，大家可能會遇到嘅，例如產假啦，或者侍產假啦，或者啲法定嘅病假咧，呢啲可能我哋日常生活之中會遇到啦。咁哪怕你有 NRPF 呢個條款喺你嘅簽證入邊咧，你依然可以享用嘅呢個福利。
So you've got, for example, say if you're a mother that's had a baby, or you're taking time off work because of you've had a baby, or your partner's had a baby, or you're unable to work because you're sick. So some of these sort of circumstances you might still be covered.
咁舉個例子，例如你自己有懷孕啦，或者你嘅伴侶而家懷孕啦，或者有小朋友啦，咁而可能需要請一啲嘅病假或者產假或者侍產假嘅時候，咁你哋其實都係可以享有嘅。
And you can find a list of all the available benefits at the link at the bottom of the slide, which we'll share after the session.
咁詳細有啲乜嘢嘢你哋係可以申請嘅咧？咁其實會喺呢一版嘅最底嗰度有個連結，你哋可以點入去嘅。咁你哋收到呢一個簡報之後，你哋可以詳細去睇一個完整嘅清單。
Now, there's also other types of financial support that are not considered welfare benefits, that some people might be able to access.
咁亦都會有一啲經濟上面嘅幫助啦，咁係有 NRPF 條款嘅限制嘅人咧，都係可以申請到嘅。
So local authorities will, in some circumstances, have a statutory duty to provide support to some individuals and families, such as where there are children involved and they are experiencing destitution, or where we have vulnerable adults who have care needs.
咁舉個例子啦，本地嘅市政府佢哋有一個法定嘅義務啦，要去提供一啲幫助咧，俾例如一啲特別嘅人群、一啲弱勢嘅社群嘅。舉個例子，例如佢哋需要支援一啲家庭入邊係有小朋友嘅，而佢哋面臨一個貧困或者一個貧困嘅一個狀態啦，而需要幫助啦，或者有一啲需要人照顧嘅成人啦，等等。
So these types of support are they're not things that you would apply for as such. You would have to be referred to the local authority to be assessed to see if they have a duty to support. And it's really about meeting any safeguarding needs and alleviating any crisis where there's vulnerable people that need to be provided that support.
咁呢一種福利咧，一般嚟講唔係話公開俾大家去申請嘅，而係當你哋有需要嘅時候，你哋可能會獲得轉介。咁轉介之後咧，市政府咧係會做一個評估，去睇下你哋係咪真係可能會面臨一個危機，或者有一個人身安全上面得唔到保障嘅一個情形等等嘅時候咧，咁佢哋可能會根據評估嘅結果咧，會作出唔同嘅幫助。咁但係唔係嗰啲公開可以俾你哋就咁去申請嘅福利嚟嘅。
And the type of support that's provided depends on the needs that are assessed in each case. So it can't involve things like financial support and accommodation in some cases if that's what is needed.
咁所俾嘅福利或者作出嘅一啲幫助咧，其實會視乎翻個案與個案之間唔同嘅需要咧去安排嘅。有機會會係金錢上嘅幫助啦，亦都有可能會係房屋上面嘅幫助。其實係視乎翻每一個唔同嘅個案，佢哋有啲咩最迫切嘅需要而安排嘅。
Now, local authorities as well will also be able to provide some other support to some other groups as well that we've highlighted here on the slide, so such as free school meals are available to all children with the NRPF condition.
咁下邊亦都有講一啲咧其他機構啦、團體啦或者慈善機構會有嘅一啲福利或者一啲幫助可以申請得到嘅。舉個例子啦，有一啲免費嘅學校餐啦，即係小朋友嘅學校餐飲啦等等。
There is free childcare available for some children, depending on age. You should be able to access that.
咁亦都會有托兒免費嘅托兒服務啦，係可以申請嘅，係根據時數去申請嘅。咁一般所批嘅時數咧，會根據你小朋友嘅年齡而定嘅。
In some cases as well, some children can be provided with transport support to go to school if they live a certain distance from the school and are of a certain age. So yeah, it's always worth inquiring as well about that from schools if you live far away.
咁亦都係一啲特定嘅情形啦，咁可能冇人可以接送到小朋友返學，或者住嘅地方比較遠等等，咁而有需要嘅話咧，佢哋亦都可能會提供到一啲交通上面嘅幫助啦，去接送小朋友返學放學嘅。
If you're a single person and you live alone, you're eligible for a discount on your council tax.
咁喺我哋平時每個月要交嘅 council tax 入邊，即係市政府要交嘅稅入邊咧，如果你係獨居嘅一個人住嘅話，咁你亦都會享有一個叫做獨居人士嘅優惠，叫 single person discount。
And yeah, there's various other things as well on this list here. So some organisations, charities, for example, might be able to provide food bank vouchers. And we also have things like bus passes that are available for some people because of maybe they have a disability or they're of a certain age group.
咁亦都可能有啱啱有提及到嘅，可能有慈善機構啦，或者其他唔同嘅團體會提供幫助，例如一啲食物銀行嘅券啦，或者一啲免費嘅巴士證啦。一般嚟講，可能係小朋友啦，或者老人家咁樣，或者有殘障嘅人士，佢哋根據佢哋嘅醫療需求，可以申請到一啲免費嘅交通啦。
And someone who's having a baby as well is able to access a certificate that enables them to access some healthcare cost, some healthcare free at cost, so things like prescriptions, for example.
咁如果任何有咗 BB 嘅人啦，即係懷孕嘅人士，咁亦都可以申請到一啲藥物上或者醫療上面嘅幫助啦。舉個例子，例如如果嗰段時間需要有處方藥你需要食嘅話，咁嗰個費用咧其實係可以豁免嘅喺懷孕期間。
So this is not everything that might be available. This is just a list of things that we've picked out. And most of these things, if you want to find information about it, you could find out from the local authority. They should be able to provide that information on how to access them.
咁以上所講嘅咧並唔係全部。咁如果你哋有問題或者想知道更多咧，其實可以同你哋本地嘅市政府聯絡或者查詢嘅。
We're aware that not all benefits and funds are managed by the same government departments, and that can make applying for them and managing them quite difficult and confusing.
咁關於申請一啲幫助或者啲福利嘅時候咧，咁其實我哋都留意到，其實唔係所有嘅福利或者幫助咧，都係由同一個政府機構去發放或者安排嘅。咁所以會令到有時我哋申請啊、了解或者溝通嘅時候咧，會有一啲困難嘅。
I think it's important for us just to establish who is providing that support. Is it through the Department for Work and Pensions? Is it the local authority? Or is it, for example, His Majesty's Revenue and Customs Office?
咁或者一開始嘅時候咧，我哋要搞清楚咧，係嗰一個服務或者嗰一個福利或者嗰一個幫助係由邊一個機構去發放嘅咧？係勞工處去發放啊，本地市政府去發放啊，定係稅局去發放，定係其他人咧？
The best way to find out is through the government website, gov.uk, or through the local authority's website. Most of these benefits, you can apply for them online and sometimes on the phone.
咁咧，最簡單去知道喺邊度申請邊一樣嘢嘅方法咧，就我哋上網去查，我哋可以去翻 gov.uk 呢個網站去查啦，或者你哋所屬住嗰個地區嘅本地市政府網頁可以查得到嘅。咁大部分嘅福利或者服務咧，都可以通過網上去申請嘅，或者有啲時候可以通過電話去申請。
Now, if you need additional support and accessing benefits, there's various places that you can go to get that help. So local authorities have what we call one-stop centres and other frontline services that they provide where you can get that help.
咁有啲額外嘅幫助咧，可能會係一啲每一個市政府會設立咗一個叫做 one-stop centre， 即係一個一站式嘅一啲社會服務中心啦，或者一啲前線嘅服務，一個本地市政府嘅前線服務嗰度可以申請到嘅。
Job centres can provide support and help accessing any welfare benefits that are managed through the Department for Work and Pensions.
咁亦都可以同就業中心查詢啦。咁所有關於勞工處及養老金呢個機構入邊發放嘅幫助咧，都可以通過就業中心 job centres 入邊可以獲得資訊嘅。
And you've got advocacy organisations like Citizens Advice that are specialists in providing advice and support around accessing financial support including welfare benefits.
咁亦都會有啲獨立嘅機構啦，例如 Citizen Advice，咁佢係我哋如果直譯我哋就叫市民諮詢啦，其實就係一個平台，可以俾所有市民去作出一啲申請福利啊，或者幫助啊，或者其他上面生活日常會遇到嘅嘢嘅一啲查詢嘅。
And then you might find as well services within the voluntary and community sector as well that can help.
咁亦都會有一啲志願團體啦，或者啲社區服務嘅團體咧，會提供到資訊嘅。
We'd also say as well that you can contact us or your Hong Kong regional hub, where we can provide you we can put you in touch with the right services if you need that additional help.
咁當然你哋亦都可以聯絡我哋啦，咁或者揾翻你哋自己所住嘅區域嘅 Hong Kong Regional Hub， 咁入邊都會有相關嘅人可以提供到一啲指引俾你哋嘅。
So this slide here is just showing you how different departments are responsible for different benefits. So you can see, yeah, it's quite spread out across them.
咁以下呢個清單咧，其實就有講得分得清楚少少，邊一種嘅福利或者邊一種嘅服務係由邊一個機構去發放同埋去審批嘅。咁其實你會睇得到，其實佢哋都分得幾細嘅。咁所以你哋可能到時要睇翻呢個表，去更詳細了解邊一樣嘢係屬於邊一個機構去處理嘅。
So you can see that, well, some might be with, for example, the Department for Work and Pensions or the local authority. Some things are issued through employers or through the NHS, so it's quite varied.
咁例如有啲會係啱啱我講 DWP 啦，勞工處同養老金嘅部門啦，或者本地嘅市政府啦，甚至乎有一啲嘅福利係會通過你嘅僱主發放俾你嘅，亦都包括NHS 嘅一啲服務。
There is a destitution funding package that can be claimed by local authorities where they are having to help someone on a Hong Kong BNO visa who is struggling financially.
咁其實有一啲幫助貧窮人士嘅基金咧，係設立咗喺唔同嘅市政府入邊啦，係去幫助一啲 BNO visa 嘅持有人咧，如果佢哋喺經濟上遇到好大嘅困難嘅時候咧，可以去申請嘅。
If you're struggling financially, you can approach the local authority. They should be able to assess your needs and provide temporary support.
咁如果你面臨到一啲經濟上面嘅一啲困境嘅時候咧，咁你哋其實可以聯絡你哋本地市政府啦，咁佢哋會作出評估，從而去睇有啲咩支援福利或者幫助可以提供到俾你嘅。
So the type of support that they might provide is dependent on the needs that they assess. So it look different for different people, but it could include things like financial support, housing, vouchers, help paying bills, for example.
咁所提供嘅幫助咧，其實會視乎翻個案同個案唔同啦，會根據需要去發放嘅。咁可能會係一啲經濟上面嘅幫助啦，或者可能安排房屋啦，亦都有可能咧係一啲券啦、消費券啦，或者係一啲幫你去俾一啲帳單。
So the period of support that the local authority could help with is just to cover that period while someone is waiting. They're going through the process of removing the NRPF condition from their leave to remain. So it's a temporary support in place until that person is no longer unable to access public funds.
咁如果有啲人佢申請咗去移除嗰個 NRPF 嗰個條款嘅時候咧，咁中間呢個過渡嘅情形咧，其實市政府亦都會提供一啲暫時嘅幫助啦。咁直至到佢申請去移除 NRPF 嘅條款係成功之前嘅呢段時間咧，亦都會提供一啲相應嘅幫助嘅。
So essentially, it's conditional that the person accessing the support is making a change of conditions application to remove the NRPF condition.
咁我哋啱啱所講嘅呢個移除 NRPF 嘅條款咧，其實係某一啲特定嘅情形咧，一個申請人咧去申請一個 change of conditions， 關於自己處境嘅一個改變，去申請一個希望移除 NRPF 條款嘅一個申請。
So this type of support as well is you're not applying for this package of support. It's the local authority is providing the support, and then they claim that back from the government. Based on that you meet the criteria. So it's just to be aware of that. You'd have to approach the local authority, and we would recommend that you do that through the Hong Kong regional hubs, because we can make sure that they are aware of your entitlements and that the right kind of support is being provided.
咁再重申一次咧，呢一種咁嘅特別安排咧，並唔係一個公開可以去就咁去，我話我要申請就可以申請到嘅嘢嚟嘅。咁其實係視乎翻本地嘅市政府嘅轉介同埋評估，再作出幫助嘅。咁所以如果你認為自己有呢個需要嘅話，咁我哋建議你咧去聯絡你哋嘅 Hong Kong Regional Hub， 即係你哋地區嘅一個 Hong Kong Hub， 去了解你哋有啲咩嘢係可以申請到，而佢哋亦都可以作出相應嘅轉介，去確保你哋得到你哋應該可以得到嘅幫助。
Now, there is a process in place to remove the NRPF condition. Under the immigration rules, some people are actually able to apply to remove the condition if they are destitute or they are at imminent risk of destitution.
有啲咩人可以去申請移除呢個 NRPF 嘅條款咧？根據移民法，咁其實有兩個最主要嘅情形。第一個情形就係已經面臨而家已經係一個貧困嘅狀態啦。咁或者我面臨緊一個危機，係將會跌入一個貧窮嘅邊緣或者一個貧窮嘅狀態，我哋啲 destitutions。
The rules state that a person is destitute if they don't have adequate accommodation or any means of obtaining it, or that they have accommodation but other essential living needs are not being met.
咁乜嘢為之貧窮嘅狀態咧？就係其實有幾個定義嘅。第一個定義就係咧，佢哋冇辦法獲取到足夠嘅住所，即係有足夠嘅瓦遮頭去不管佢用任何方法，即係例如佢係問朋友借嚟住或者自己租定係點樣，佢獲得唔到。又或者佢哋有足夠住嘅地方，佢哋可以獲得到，但係與此同時，佢哋並冇辦法去維持自己日常基本生活所需之下咧，咁其實都會跌入呢一個貧困嘅定義嘅。
So you're at risk if either or both of those are the case or are imminent.
咁啱啱講嘅嗰兩個情形，其實當你如果有其中一種嘅話，或者兩種都適用於你嘅話咧，咁其實就好似啱啱我哋所講，而家係面臨緊一個貧困嘅境況。
Now, to apply for a change of conditions, you have to fill out the online application form with documentary evidence of your financial circumstances, and that application goes through to the Home Office.
咁申請一個我哋叫 change of conditions， 即係啱啱我講你處境有改變嘅一個申請咧，咁其實我一般嚟講都會通過網上去申請嘅，咁係同 Home Office 嗰邊去申請啦。
Now, current data says that the processing times have taken approximately 40 days, but it does seem that it can take a lot longer than that for some people to get a decision.
咁喺文件上面咧，白紙黑字佢就話咧個處理時間咧係40日嘅，咁但係其實基於現實嘅情形啦，咁同埋我哋嘅經驗咧，其實一般嚟講都多於40日嘅，亦都可能會一段頗長嘅時間，視乎翻唔同嘅情形。
Now, this is an immigration application, so it means that if anyone is providing you support to make the application, they must be a registered immigration advisor with the OISC or with the Solicitors Regulation Authority.
咁咧，啱啱我講呢個改變處境 COC 嘅呢個申請咧，其實係一個移民狀態上面嘅申請嘅。咁所以咧，如果你哋去需要提供一啲有一啲特別嘅人士幫你哋去處理嘅時候咧，你哋必須要確保嗰啲人係持牌或者合資格嘅，例如係 OISC 或者律師等等，佢哋係符合資格去處理呢個移民程序嘅。
Now, if you're in Yorkshire and Humber and you need support to make this application, we do have a service run through one of our partners called Kirklees Citizens Advice and Law Centre, and they're able to provide free legal advice and help to make this application.
咁如果係喺約克或者 Humber 地區啦，咁如果你哋需要一啲免費嘅法律嘅意見，係廣東話嘅，咁去幫助你嘅申請或者你去交呢一啲咁嘅申請嘅時候咧，我哋其實有一個叫 Kirklees Citizen Advice and Law Centre， 即係一個市民諮詢嘅同埋一個法律中心啦，你哋可以去喺嗰度得到一啲查詢或者一啲幫助嘅。
Just to highlight this fact is that if you do apply to remove the NRPF condition, it doesn't have any impact on the number of years it takes to acquire settlement or indefinite leave to remain. You still remain on the 5-year route. And the reason why I mention that is because some other immigration routes previously, if they did make this application, they were moved to a 10-year route for settlement, but that's not the case.
咁喺就住單單我哋講呢個移除 NRPF 嘅條款嘅呢個移民申請入邊咧，佢係唔會影響到你入籍嘅。咁點解我哋會提一提就係我哋本身例如係一個5+1嘅入籍嘅一個途徑咧，咁你作出咗呢個申請咧係並唔會影響嘅。點解我哋會提係因為某一啲嘅移民申請或者一啲移民申請嘅更改咧係會影響到入籍或者得到永居嘅要求，可能會從5年得到10年嘅。咁但係移除 NRPF 呢個條款咧係唔會影響嘅，所以會維持翻係5年入籍嘅呢一個得到永居嘅途徑。
Now on this slide here, we've got some information about the services that are available to support Hong Kong BNO visa holders.
咁呢度有個清單啦，就係有一啲聯繫嘅方法啦，或者一啲相關嘅一啲團隊啦，可以幫助到大家需要幫助嘅時候可以去聯絡嘅。
So we've got details of the Hong Kong hub in Yorkshire and Humber, and also our partners at Kirklees Citizens Advice and Law Centre.
咁如果係喺約克同埋亨伯地區嘅話，咁有我哋而家呢一個Hong Kong hub 嘅一啲聯絡資料啦，咁有個電郵啦，同埋一個Facebook 嘅一個版面咧，亦都有啱啱講過一個合作伙伴啦 Kirklees Citizens Advice and Law Centre 一個市民諮詢或者一個法律中心啦，咁嘅聯絡方法同埋佢哋嘅一個網上表格，亦都有喺度有連結可以俾大家去睇翻嘅。
We've also got a list of local organisations as well in the region that might be able to support. And at the bottom, some national services that exist across the UK, such as a migrant help service, which provides support with access to employment for Hong Kong BNOs.
咁下邊亦都有一啲志願團體啦，咁佢有個連結嘅點入去可以揾到相關約克同亨伯地區嘅一個清單咧，有啲咩本地嘅一啲幫助可以得到，或者一啲本地嘅人同人一齊接觸嘅小組入邊可以參加啦。咁另外亦都有一啲其他嘅資訊係成個英國所有地區都適用嘅，咁亦都有喺呢度列出嚟。
And I think that's all from the presentations.